Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. A large wildfire burned through multi-million-dollar mansions in Southern California yesterday. Firefighters are continuing to fight the blaze. Not just with this recent blaze, but with the fire seasons quickly approaching, a new aircraft was introduced to the public to combat fire. It is equipped with advanced camera technology to assist firefighters from the air. We'll get to see what they see. And the Los Angeles Unified School District pushed back its COVID jab mandate once again. The change is in response to parent advocacy group lawsuits. We'll let you know when the new deadline is set for. A wildfire tore through Southern California's upscale neighborhood of Laguna, Niguel on Wednesday night. Flames razed mansions in one of the state's most affluent neighborhoods. NTD's David Lam has the latest.
The coastal fire continues to burn in Orange County's Laguna Niguel neighborhood.
The heat started getting on us, and it was really, the wind got worse, and the fire sparks started jumping, and you can see it got really close, really quick. And when we got out here, the fire trucks were already here and everything, and they had already called evacuation order from the helicopter.
The blaze began on Wednesday at 2:51 p.m. It started near the South Orange County Wastewater Authority's coastal treatment plant, before spreading into the Aliso and Woods Canyon. According to the fire authority, the treatment plant was not damaged.
Yeah, thank God we're okay. It's been very difficult for the whole neighborhood.
Throughout the night, the flames spread quickly as they tore through thick brush on the hillsides.
It happened so quick. It's just, I'm still numbed. I cannot believe it.
Ocean winds pushed the flames and sparked spot fires ahead of the main blaze.
It really is rare. We've never had a fire in this community before. But fire season, as we know it, is now 12 months a year. So we have to be prepared that a fire could come up virtually at any time.
The fire advanced on Aliso Summit Trail and into Coronado Point.
We're looking at nobody dead, nobody injured, and it's everything, material things can be replaced, insurance and things like that.
Flames burned about 20 homes in a gated community filled with multi-million-dollar estates.
We do know homes obviously, unfortunately, were damaged and or destroyed. We have a damage assessment team that's on site now. They're evaluating those structures, and we will have accurate information in a short amount of time that we'll be able to provide.
The fire authority reported one firefighter injured so far. The cause is still under investigation.
So as it stands right now, we're at 200 acres. We have approximately 550 firefighters battling the blaze. And I'm happy to report we are making progress on the fire. Crews worked diligently and very hard throughout the night and made great progress, and we expect that to continue today.
Around 900 homes remain under mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders as of Thursday morning. David Lam, NTD News, California.
Two aircrafts equipped with the state-of-the-art cameras and sensors may soon be available statewide to help California's firefighting efforts. One of the planes went on display at an airport in Southern California.
As part of the Wildfire Preparedness Month, fire officials displayed the Intel 24 aircraft on May 10th at the Hollywood Burbank Airport. It is equipped with advanced camera and sensor technology to help firefighters in the coming fire season. The director of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services told the Epic Times the aircraft is super efficient, super capable, and super helpful. It's a new eye in the sky, and calls it a game changer. High-resolution cameras are attached to the outside of the plane's fuselage. They take pictures and collect important data at high altitudes to help pinpoint and monitor fire activity on the ground. Being able to determine the size and direction of the fire will help responders allocate limited resources strategically. Infrared and color technologies on these cameras also enable heat signature readings and detection of fuel moisture, weather, and other conditions. Infrastructure information can be sent directly to smartphones for fire commands and operation centers. The collected data is sent to a supercomputer center located at the University of California, San Diego.
California lawmakers have been pushing for a bill that will allow minors to get any vaccine without parental consent. Introduced by Senators Scott Wiener and Richard Penn, Senate Bill 866 allows minors 12 years and older to sidestep parental consent and to receive FDA-approved vaccines. State senators took a vote on the floor Thursday morning and passed the bill in a 21-7 vote. 12 senators abstained. SB 866 is now headed to the Assembly for further hearings and votes. The Los Angeles School Board has decided to delay a district-wide COVID jab mandate. This is the second time they have delayed the mandate, describing their actions as the right move.
The Los Angeles School Board decided to delay implementing COVID-19 jab mandates for students. The delay will last until at least July 1st, 2023. Superintendent Alberto Carvalho said, due to the high vaccination rates among students 12 and older, low transmission rates in our schools, and our nation-leading safety measures, we have preserved in-person learning in the safest possible environment. In the meantime, the district plans to give information to students about jabs for COVID-19, also known as the CCP virus. The school district first floated the idea of a student vaccine mandate back in January. Since then, parent advocacy groups filed lawsuits against the school district. Back in October, Governor Gavin Newsom's office dropped initial plans for a statewide vaccine requirement for kids to attend school. Currently, only the Pfizer vaccine is available to children aged 5 to 15 under an emergency use authorization. A recent poll by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that only 18% of parents of children under the age of 5 would get their child vaccinated right away for COVID-19. Meanwhile, a vaccine mandate for Los Angeles school employees will remain intact.
A Los Angeles Police Department officer remains hospitalized after he was beaten with his own baton. The attack happened while responding to an abortion rights protest near the federal courthouse earlier this month.
Protesters attacked the police officer as he responded to a rally in Los Angeles over the Supreme Court Roe v. Wade leak earlier this month. LAPD Assistant Chief Dominic Choi said on Wednesday that 2 Homeland Security vehicles were across a protest. However, the vehicles were mobbed by protesters and vandalized. At that point, the police were called.
During our response to the help call, one of our officers, initial responding officers, was injured where this officer exited his vehicle. He was also surrounded. Somebody took his baton from him and struck him with it. He is okay. He's at a hospital. He's okay. The officer was able to recover the baton back, and the suspects did flee.
The protest started when about 200 people gathered in front of the federal building in downtown Los Angeles on May 3rd, one day after the publication of the leak. When more police showed up, an unlawful assembly was declared. The protesters were dispersed without any arrests made. Choi said members of the group reportedly vandalized property in some local areas, and they spray-painted sidewalks and walls.
That incident that night was the only violence or criminal behavior that we've seen out of these 4 protests this week.
The police officer who was hit is reportedly well and not in any dangerous condition. Choi said the LAPD is attempting to facilitate peaceful protests.
The Los Angeles Police Department continues to receive cuts to its workforce. With an already shrinking police force, the LA City Council is now looking to reduce the number of officers working in civilian functions.
The LA City Council introduced a motion asking the Los Angeles Police Department to report the number of officers working in civilian positions. According to City Council members, the goal is to reduce the number of non-sworn officer staff. The total number of sworn employees in LAPD is now below the authorized level of 9,700. The number of new hires is lagging behind the number of officers retiring in recent years. Councilman Joe Buscaino said that it is all the more important that the existing sworn workforce be maximized and assigned to public safety functions. The push comes as Buscaino is campaigning for the mayor's seat. He is calling to increase LAPD's forces beyond authorized levels. One of his opponents, Representative Karen Bass, has also advocated for increasing the LAPD's patrol personnel to reach already authorized levels. She suggests moving desk officers to the field and hiring additional civilian personnel. Mayor Eric Garcetti's budget proposal for the next fiscal year includes an additional $149 million aimed partially at increasing staff to 9,735 officers.
We're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. Police made 2 large crime busts in the Bay Area. One recovered around $700,000 of merchandise stolen from retail stores. The other recovered 15 pounds of fentanyl at a high school. A Silicon Valley transportation agency takes down one of its work buildings. This is 1 year after an employee killed coworkers in the same building. We'll let you know where it happened. And for gun supporters out there, a California court struck down a recent ban on people under 21 buying rifles. Advocacy groups said they violated Second Amendment rights. That and more on California Today. The California Highway Patrol announced Wednesday that they arrested a suspect believed to be part of the organized retail theft ring. The style of theft, often called smash and grab robbery, plagued the state earlier this year. The CHP recovered $700,000 worth of stolen merchandise at a residence and a storage facility in the Bay Area city of Pittsburgh. Investigators discovered stolen retail merchandise from a wide range of retailers, including CVS, Target, Rite Aid, Safeway, Sunglass Hut, Macy's, Total Wine & More, and Lululemon, along with several other retailers. 45-year-old Julio Cuellar was arrested and booked into Solano County Jail on several charges, including organized retail theft and conspiracy. Officials seized a huge load of illicit drugs from a car near a high school in Oakland. According to the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, detectives seized the 15 pounds of fentanyl, 1 kilo of heroin, and $139,000 in cash. They were found inside a drug dealer's car at a parking lot at McClymonds High School in Oakland. 4 suspects are in custody. Officials clarified that the discovery is not connected to the school. Drug trafficking within 1,000 feet of a school is an additional crime. A major transit agency in Silicon Valley is demolishing one of its buildings. The agency says it's to help bring closure to their employees after losing 10 workmates last year in a tragic mass shooting. NTD's David Lamb reports.
Teams began demolishing Building B at the Valley Transportation Authority Light Rail Maintenance Facility in California's Bay Area on Wednesday. This is nearly a year since a former VTA employee killed 9 coworkers before taking his own life. 6 employees reportedly died in this building, which has remained closed since then. It used to house way power and signal teams responsible for maintaining railway infrastructure. Since then, the employees on these teams have worked out of other locations, according to the transit agency. The demolition follows a mass shooting that happened almost exactly 1 year ago on May 26, 2021. 57-year-old Samuel Cassidy opened fire on his coworkers in San Jose. All 10 people who died ranged from 29 to 63 years old, including the killer himself. Cassidy's ex-wife said he used to come home from work resentful and angry over what he perceived as unfair assignments. She said he talked about killing people at work more than a decade ago. The local sheriff's office said Cassidy was disgruntled for many years, which may have contributed to why he targeted employees. Agency officials said in a news release that demolishing the building will allow VTA to move forward with planning long-term solutions for the yard with a building that meets the maintenance and operation needs of VTA, while supporting the emotional needs of employees who experienced the tragedy that occurred at the light rail facility. The decision to demolish Building B came after months of anguish for the shooting's survivors. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
A federal appeals court ruled Wednesday that California's ban on the sale of most semi-automatic weapons to adults under age 21 is unconstitutional. Plaintiffs argue that the law violates the Second Amendment rights of people aged 18 to 20.
In a 2-1 decision, a 3-judge panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the state's law violates the Second Amendment rights. The Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." A summary of the court ruling reads, in part, the panel held that California's ban was a severe burden on the core Second Amendment right of self-defense in the home. It also says that historical records showed that the Second Amendment protects the right of young adults to keep and bear arms, which includes the right to purchase them. U.S. Circuit Judge Ryan Nelson wrote for the San Francisco-based appeals court saying, "America would not exist without the heroism of the young adults who fought and died in our Revolutionary Army." The Office of California Attorney General Rob Bonta said it is reviewing the court's decision. In a statement, a spokesperson said it was committed to defending California's common-sense gun laws. A California law took effect in July 2021, banning the sale of long guns and semi-automatic rifles to anyone under the age of 21. Law enforcement officers and active duty military service members would be exempt from the ban. Plaintiffs who brought the case challenging the law had argued the measure infringes on the Second Amendment rights of adults aged 18 to 20.
A tech conference is coming up on May 16th. One of the tech companies showcasing their products at the conference is a South Korean-based startup.
DEEPX is a startup company that makes artificial intelligence semiconductor chips. The company plans to introduce a line of 4 new products with a high-performance neural processing unit technology.
Today, more than 50 billion electronic devices are connected to the internet. By the end of the 2025, it will be more than 70 billion. If those devices have a human-like intelligence and it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the new civilization will be born.
Wow.
So
Okay.
DEEPX wants to contribute that kind of big waves of the revolution. DEEPX can put high-level intelligence into the very, very small devices.
Executive VP Jay Kim said the massive amount of electronic devices in use every day will help contribute to this new technology. The new products specialize in efficiently processing algorithms for face recognition, sound recognition, image recognition, among other features. He says the left side of the screen displays some of the original detection algorithms, and the right side shows newer technology.
You can see the difference. Like the right side can detect more objects from the images. The most important thing is right side is a brand new model. It cannot be run on small devices like an MPU, what we have, but we can do it with our MPU. That is a major technical difference.
The company plans to showcase their products at the upcoming 2022 Embedded Vision Summit in Santa Clara starting on May 16th.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup.
Up 3-1 in their best-of-7 second-round matchup against the feisty Memphis Grizzlies, an older Warriors team was looking to put this series away early and earn a little time to rest before they had to start their Western Conference Finals matchup. They had all the momentum in the series, and the Grizzlies' best player, All-Star guard Ja Morant, was out with a knee injury that will sideline him for the rest of the season. Apparently, none of that mattered Wednesday night. The Warriors came out flat, turned the ball over 22 times, and were down by 50 midway through the third quarter. This was an absolutely abysmal showing by a team that's fancying themselves as championship contenders. It's tough to see that happening now that Golden State had trouble contending with Memphis's backups. There was plenty of garbage time in this one, but 7 Grizzlies scored in double digits, with Trey Jones, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane each scoring 21 to lead the Grizz. Draymond Green had 5 turnovers and no Warriors player scored over 20 points. The game was such a bad blowout in such a short amount of time that Klay, Steph, and Draymond each played only less than 25 minutes. The Warriors will have to recover from this loss very quickly. Now the series swings back to Chase Center in San Francisco, and Golden State still has a 3-2 lead over Memphis. Could they rediscover their secret sauce and close this one out in 6? I guess we'll find out Friday. Warriors 95, Grizzlies 134. Chelsea Football Club has confirmed that terms have been agreed with a consortium led by Los Angeles Dodgers part owner Todd Boehly and backed by Clear Lake Capital over the acquisition of the English Premier League soccer team. The Stamford Bridge-based outfit announced the $5.2 billion deal for the reigning European champions in a statement issued in the early hours of Saturday, subject to receiving the required approvals. Chelsea said the new owners would pay just over $3 billion to purchase shares while committing a further $2.13 billion to invest in the stadium, women's team, the academy, and the Chelsea Foundation. The statement confirmed all proceeds will be placed in a frozen UK bank account, and Russian owner Roman Abramovich, who is currently subject to sanctions by the British government, would donate all the proceeds to charitable causes. Abramovich put the club up for sale in early March following his country's invasion of Ukraine. He cleared the path for the takeover on Thursday after dismissing reports he wanted a loan given to the club, reportedly worth $1.9 billion, to be repaid. The Boehly Group, which also includes Swiss billionaire Weiss, were in exclusive negotiations to buy the club after a late bid from British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe was rejected. Groups led by the Boston Celtics co-owner Stefan Paglukia and former British Airways chairman Martin Broughton were earlier eliminated from the bidding process, while a consortium led by Chicago Cubs owners, the Ricketts family, pulled out of the running.
And that's all for sports.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, or just want to let us know how we're doing, our email is california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.